Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Divergent Comics podcast. Today, I am back doing kind of an indie comic creator interview, kind of not. Uh, but as I said in the previous episode, and the episode before that, we're literally doing the greatest hits for 2026 because I had Malcolm on back around 2024
Dang,
and
it's been that long?
interviewed him. It has been, right? It's been a minute.
Okay, I
Um,
guess so.
yeah, I had you on shortly after I had the other Malcolm of Apartment 6
Yep.
comics. So it's just like, it's kind of like I said, the greatest hits type of thing. I just talked to Carla Madrano
Hmm.
about her upcoming award show, the Zelda Awards. So by the time this episode comes out, it'll literally be like a day or so before that happens. So
That is what this Sunday,
this upcoming Saturday, April 11th.
April 11th. Okay,
Yeah.
April 11th. Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I need to mark that on my calendar.
Yeah. That episode, for everyone, transparency, we're recording this on a Saturday, April 4th.
Yep.
So the episode with Carla is going live on Monday, which gives us a full week to prepare and be excited for Women in Comics, which was a
Dope.
super fun and engaging conversation. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. But I figure why not do that again in the sense of have someone on and have a topic, but also give them something to promote as well. So I wanted to bring Malcolm on because he's currently running a Kickstarter for his newest comic, Thema, the God of War, and I'm super excited for that. I've been a big fan of what Malcolm has been doing over at 615 Comics since I found him back in 2024, and I feel like I've backed every Kickstarter up to this point.
For
And I
sure.
think I know for a fact I have every book.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, and
I've been,
thank you for that, bro.
yeah, man. I've been a fan. I think I still say my favorite is Hellhawk. I just recently finished the Beer and Bullets because that just came in the mail not too long ago. So I just finished
Yeah.
that one, and
Did you like it?
that was really good.
Yeah.
I did. I did. It
Shouts to
was
Beer and Bullets.
it
Hey,
kind of reminded me of like a old 90s action type of story.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
what we were going for. Me and Paige and Tony, all of us took part in writing the book. So it was really dope,
Mhm.
and that's what we were going for, like late '90s, early 2000s action. Like we were definitely going for something
Yeah.
like that, and that was what it was. It was fun to make, and it was a dope. It came out really well. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad
It
you
really did.
and I'm glad you liked it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now I gotta ask this, and this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's just it was on my mind. Is there a plan for a sequel to Beer and Bullets?
Yes. So actually, yeah. So there's this comic called The Bear. So it's this comic called The Bear. It kind of started as a joke. So like in one of my comics, this bear actually gets killed. In my newest comic, The King's Domain, a bear gets killed, and then in the comic, the Beer and Bullets, and Pinpoint actually fights a bear at the start. So
Hmm.
somebody who read both books and saw like the promotion of them, he basically said like, "What do y'all have against the bear? Like the bear should get its own comic." And then so he said that, and Paige literally just hit me up and was like, "Bro, do you want to do that?" And then I was like, "I'm down for that." And he just literally just wrote a story about the bear, and so and he used Pinpoint and Subject Zero in the story. So and it's not even like the same bear, because it's definitely not the same bear in all the other stories, but it's just a bear. But he wrote
Yeah.
that story, and it had Pinpoint and Subject Zero. So that's kind of like, it's not like a sequel, but it's like it's the next time you see them together, it's another crossover.
Nice. I like that. Well, I mean, we've sat here and talked about it already, but can you go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself to the people? I mean, most people already should know you if they've been following me for any length of time, but introduce yourself and give the people at least three things that you like to do when you're not making comics.
Oh, that's easy. Oh yeah, bet, yeah. So for anybody who knows me already and people that don't know me, especially people that don't know me, I am Malcolm McFadden, the creator of 615 Comics. I have my own comic book company, I have my own comic book universe, full of different characters. I have characters ranging from very different things, from characters with powers, vigilante characters, anti-hero type of stories. So we have a bunch of things here at 615 Comics. And also, three things about me that I do outside of comics. I'm training for a marathon. That's one big thing that I'm trying to do. I'm training for a marathon. I'm gonna do a 5K
Nice.
first. I pretty much am good with doing a 5K, and then next will be a half marathon, and then I want to do a full marathon. So I want to
Mm.
try to do that in 2027. So that's one thing. Two that I do outside of comics. I'm trying not to say read comics, but two outside comics.
That's always the go-to.
Yeah, that's always a go-to. Two outside comics. I'm also audio engineer, and I also make beats, and I'm a hip hop artist. Um, so I also
Mm.
do that, and what I do for my 9 to 5 is also being AV technician. So I do basically just a lot of stuff to do with like production and stuff like that. So that's two that I do.
We kind of work in the same field. That's funny.
But because you're in IT, right?
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mostly do AV stuff.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for my job currently, where I work at, because it's a country club, so all we do is just like, I mean, I do a lot of networking stuff. I work with switches and computers and things like that, but a lot of what I do is just dealing with TV music stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you know how it is.
Yeah,
So third thing, hmm, third thing I do, I can't do it as much because my because family and a kid, but I love to go to movies. Movies is one thing I love to do. I just love the
hmm
experience of going to theaters. I'm one of those people that will go to a movie by myself. Like I
me
just
too.
yeah, I just love movies. I love the experience of going to a theater, the smell of the popcorn. I love being
Yeah, man.
that one person that just always has to react and is loud in the movie. I love that too. So it's like movies. Yeah, definitely
It's
movies.
the atmosphere.
Yeah. And I just love movies. I love stories. I love good movies. I love some bad movies.
Me too.
I love some I love movies.
Bad. That's nice. So I wanted to talk to you about what I would call the rise of indie comics. Indie
Okay.
comic creators have been around for decades.
Hmm.
I think even Page himself has mentioned multiple times he's been around for
Since the
about
90s.
almost 20 years. Yeah,
Yes.
30 years. So, yeah, indie comics are not new to the thing.
Hmm.
But I feel like now we're seeing not only more indie comic creators, but
Hmm.
we're seeing more emphasis and more focus on buying independent comics rather than just buying bigger brands. So, like I mentioned before we started recording, you've been in this game much longer than I have. I didn't understand or start even seeing indie comics until 2021 ish. That's when I actually started seeing indie comics. But you've been like a YouTuber and following indie comics for a while. So I want to ask you, what have you noticed, good and bad, has changed for indie comic creators?
Change. Okay. So hmm. Good. Okay. Good is definitely easy. So let me start there. Good with comic book creators. I think, like you said, us being more comic book creators. I think that it seemed that with there being out there and like an emphasis on supporting and people just the knowledge of comic creators starting to kind of grow a little bit more, that people are seeing that they can also make comics and like they can get their stories out there. So I think that's one of the good things that I love because as a fan of indie comics and I just think as a creator, seeing other creators come out and with dope stories that are good and like that are great to read and entertaining, I think that is one of the good things that's changing because more people can see that they can do it, and so we have more people putting out like dope stuff, and just even if it's not like incredibly dope, like it still would be good. It will, I guess, to your standards of what's good and whatever. But like I think that is one thing that's dope, and as a fan, it's great to see because I love supporting indies. I love reading indie comics because, like I said, with the movies, like I said, I just love stories and I love comic books. So seeing more of us, especially Black indies creators, making comics and having Black characters that I
Yep.
can read and I can dive into. I love that. So I think that's one of the good things that has changed. And so bad. Let me see. I want to be honest. So let me see if I can get something good. Bad. Hmm. I don't. I don't know if this is a change. I don't know if this necessarily was. I'm much more plugged into indie comic books and Black indie comic books right now than maybe I was when I first started and coming through. So I don't want to say like this is something that may have changed and talking from like a place of ignorance. So I just want to say one thing that could be
Right.
bad is that like sometimes the discourse that we have like online, which is social media, but like at the same time those things are kind of bound to happen. That happens with anything. I think one things I don't like is that when people try to make it seem like it's just Black indie creators, but like it like it's like there aren't people that have differences in all industries and stuff like that. So I guess that would be a
Yep.
negative that I definitely don't like. But it is like sometimes the discourse between us is one thing that's a negative, of course, but that's kind of bound to happen because like I said, it happens in every industry. Not everybody gets
It
along every
does.
day. Every single day, not everybody gets along. Like you go to work with people that you hate every single day.
Yeah.
So so it happens. So like yeah, I guess just the negative is sometimes it gets spotlighted more because social media, and just sometimes on social media negative gets spotlighted a lot more than the positive. So I guess
Right.
that could be a negative that I see that I know, like I said, I don't want to say it changes because that could have been already happening, but it's something that I see more currently, I guess now.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do think that it's something I would say more prevalent now, just because of, like you said, social media, and then also like you're seeing more of an influx of people. And when you bring a bunch of people together, whether they're black, white, Latino, whatever, there's going to be egos involved, especially when you have people who have put in like blood, sweat, and tears into a story, into something that they're really passionate about. And a lot of people don't want to like hear anything negative or hear any type of criticism in any way, which I get it, because it's a lot to hear. I didn't like what you did with this, or I don't like this. But also, it's like I feel like to some degree, some people take it a little too far.
Yeah, but
So
also
on
I
both
want to
sides.
say I just want to add into that. I don't want to cut you off, but I just want to add into that. As the
No, you're good.
conversation continues, is that even though there is negative, I do see a lot positive. I do see a lot of just
I agree.
a positive scene. So I do want to put that in there. Just I don't want that to be left out. Like because I was saying, we spotlight the negative, so I really don't want to actually feed into it. So just
No, yeah, you're right.
yeah, but this is a good conversation to have. But sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I just want to add that in there as we continue.
Oh no, you're good. I actually agree with you. I feel like there's way more positive than negative.
Right.
With what we mentioned about the negative, I can name five other things that are more positive. I feel like the indie comic book community in general is pretty welcoming on new creators. I feel like in
And maybe
general
that's
the
something
community
that could be something that has changed. I don't know, like before, like when I came into
possibly.
people were welcoming. So, but I know people who have had different opinions, of that, and who probably came into the game before I did. So,
Yeah,
like I said, like when I came into the game, it was welcoming. So maybe then
same.
I'm not like like decades into the game like some people are. So it could have been very different, So there's that too.
Yeah, and then I also feel like as an indie comic creator, we see a lot more people willing to be helpful. I can't think of any other industry really as welcoming and as willing to be mentors as the indie comic creators. And that's just my personal perspective. So I agree with you. I think that we do need to really highlight the positives a lot more, because I
Yeah.
think oftentimes the negative is what gets a lot of the draw.
and sometimes putting a spotlight on a negativity isn't always a bad thing. Good can come from it. Like you can
Hmm.
still, even like negative things, like good things can come from discourse. Most things, most times good
Yeah.
things do happen after discourse, like so like I think like in conversation, I think that's also a thing that can be a positive of social media. Even though social media may spotlight a negativity, I think people talking about
Yeah.
said negativity could also make for better. It could turn that negative to a positive. So if you get what I'm saying, so I think so.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a double edged sword. It kind of
It
it's
is.
yeah, it it is.
It's a lot of give and take in it.
Yeah, a lot of give and take, a lot.
So I wanted to ask you this because we talk about how we feel the scene may have changed and may have even grown for the most part, for good or for bad. In your perspective, based off of where you're at currently with your journey, what are some ways that you find for other creators to get more exposure and then like to find their base of fans? What do you
Like
find
things
to be
that
most
would help
helpful?
them to do that.
Yeah, like what are some ways that you found that's helped you, and what other people can glean from that?
So this is actually a very good question, and so I've actually been diving into said question for myself. Like so this would like what I can say is like one thing that I've been trying to do, like you said, I've been trying to like find an audience and find a base, and like so
Hmm.
I think one thing that can help, and one thing that I'm actually, just to be transparent, I'm doing right now and trying to do is just kind of go to where that fan base is, whether it's on Facebook groups, whether, because I'm a black comic book creator, so I'm looking for people that are looking for black heroes and stuff like that. So I'm trying to go to where the nerds are, which is actually good because I'm already where they're at because I'm a nerd myself. So I'm looking for these
Yeah.
places as well. So that helps a lot. So just being I myself am my audience. So just trying to
Hmm.
figure out where I would go with trying to look for these things. So I'm really just trying to find my audience and go to where they are. I was thinking about this the just literally like just yesterday and today. I've been thinking about this a lot, literally for like a week or so. Being like a '90s kid, like we were as a '90s kid, we were the one, kind of us in the generation before us, kind of grew up with technology. Like as we grew up, technology was growing
Hmm.
up. So we like we had like some of the first things that came out, and we everything keeps growing. So but we were also the generation to be outside. We were the face to face. We were the knock
Hmm.
on your door, like, "Hey, can Gary come outside and play?" We were like one of like that generation. So I'm trying to in that generation is real face to face and go where your people are. I'm trying to use that
Hmm.
mentality, but also since we're on social media and social media is kind of like the wave of things, I'm trying to use that mentality for social media. I'm trying to get as close to touching, as close to, because face to face, like, you touch people. I'm trying to get as close to touching people without maybe actually being able to. So like whether that be email list or stuff like that, or going to groups where people are and where they're posting and they're active, just kind of interacting with people, like trying to find my audience and engage with the audience. So I would say if you're an indie creator, I think that has helped me the most, is to actually engage, which like I said, for me that's easy because I am my audience, so I'm already in these groups and stuff like that. So but
Hmm.
I would say, as you're a creator, to engage this audience, find where your audience is. Even if it's like, say, maybe you have a story that pertains more to people that maybe people that are black don't want to read that type of story, and then maybe you need to go somewhere else and find your audience. Just find where people are liking your story, find where people are receptive to your story, find where people are engaging with it, so like that would be my biggest thing for trying to build your base, is to go where your base is. Like, and I don't mean to ramble, but that it sounds so simple, but it cannot be, because like you really have to try to find
Hmm.
where your base is, because like sometimes, like, some of these groups and stuff on Facebook and social media and stuff like that, they may be labeled a certain way, but what actually goes on in that group may not be actually what that group is labeled. Like, you get what I'm saying? So like you may not find
Yep.
exactly where, like, some groups is literally just a place where creators post their stuff and that's it, and people don't really engage. That wouldn't be a
Yep.
place where I would say to go. I would say to go to somewhere where people are posting questions, people actually talking. You feel me? Like something like that.
Hmm.
So, but sometimes those are hard to find, like especially with the captions. People use very engaging names and captions that make you think that this
Yep.
may be the group for you. But you just gotta you kind of gotta look like you kind of gotta take a day instead of doom scrolling, like doom scroll with a
Yeah.
purpose. Like you feel me? Like find where these
Yeah.
people are. So that would kind of be a thing that's helped me. That I would say to help other people.
No, I really love that answer because you have to be very purposeful
Yes.
when you're trying to find your audience. You can't just be like, oh well, I'm making comics, so I'm just gonna go where comic nerds are. It's like, okay, but your comic may not fit for all comic nerds. So you might need to look at sometimes going into a movie type group. Or I know back in its heyday, Twitter was really huge for comic creators. You could go on there, you talk about your comic or something, and then next thing you know, you get like 200 new followers, and boom, you got a following that's gonna buy your comics every month.
Damn, I missed that phase.
But
Dang. I post on Twitter and I get crickets, man. Dang. Dang, I missed that.
yeah, this was I kind of got in sweet with it. It was like a short period from like 2022 to 2024. That short period of time was perfect time for comic creators. It was great.
And I think I was on
But
Twitter and just watching stuff. I think I was doom scrolling. See, I was down.
that dude scrolling, yeah. But no, like I think about those moments, and then I think about like the different Facebook groups that we're in. Like I feel like you and I are in a lot of the same
Yeah,
Facebook
we
groups
are. We
where,
are.
well, a lot of them they are just basically there for other comic creators just to network and interact, things like that, and that is good.
Mhm.
But you're not going to get any like real traction from that.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it
So
is
a
just
lot of
us
the nerds
connect.
groups.
Yeah. Sometimes those groups are just for like us as creators and stuff to connect. Or sometimes there's also groups where they're also like fans. It's like they're creators to connect.
Hmm.
There's also fans and stuff like that. So it is
Yep.
like I said, it's different. You got to find which group does this thing. Like some groups are for creators to connect. Some groups are for artists to post
Hmm.
their work, for creators to find them. Like some groups
Hmm.
are for people actually have engaging conversations and stuff like that. Like it really you like
Yep.
I, that's why I said that it's easy to say, but it's kind of hard to do because each group is a
It's
certain
very hard.
type, and you really have to go in that group and scroll down and see what that group is about, and not just for like a few posts, like see for months,
Hmm.
see what happens in that group. And then so like that can be a big task, you feel me? Like
Hmm.
you kind of really gotta be about it to do it.
I absolutely agree. It's a tough task, but I think if you really want to do this, you'll take the time to put in the effort and then learn, and then just make that something as part of your day. And then once you do that, you get more used to being in these groups, building connections, things like that. It'll be easier for you to find out, okay, this is a group where I can actually plug my stuff and build my audience.
And you're absolutely right, Gary. You're absolutely right. Like it becomes a part of your day. It literally does become a part of my day. Like as I promote on the social media, is to kind of tap in with the community and see what happens. It kind of really has been a part of my
Mhm.
day. Like sometimes when I wake up, like I'll really like sometimes I wake up if I wake up a little bit early, I'll just lay there and kind of be like, okay, what happened in the community that I kind of missed? Like what is going on? Like
Yeah.
is happening on these pages. And then part of also that is learning the pages so I know where to go to look for things. Like especially if
Yep.
I'm looking for as a fan too, like not just as a creator, as a fan, if I'm looking for new books and new Kickstarters to support and back, there's certain groups I know to go to
Y-
look for that. You feel me? So
Yep.
it works
That is
both
true.
ways.
Yeah, that is true. I know I interviewed them last year on the podcast, but Lifeline Comics, they always are looking to promote new Kickstarter campaigns every month. And
Hmm.
so every month I'm looking for her post
Hmm.
to see, okay, what campaign should I start looking for? Which one should I start supporting? and it never fails. I always find something pretty good on there. So
Yeah.
speaking of Kickstarter, that is kind of like the go-to lifeblood of the indie comic book community.
Okay. Yes.
In what ways has Kickstarter helped you as a creator?
Ooh, easy, easy. Great question, Gary. Great question. So it's helped me a lot, bro. It's helped me a lot. So it's helped me to, of course, first and foremost, Kickstarter. The way I use it, I kind of use it as like a pre-order type system to kind of get like the numbers of how many books that I need and stuff like that, and also get the money so I
Mm-hmm.
can like get the books printed and then shipped out to people. So it really works easy because I really like to have my books almost done or done by the time I do the Kickstarter, so the Kickstarter can kind of go to
Me too.
distributing and to go to printing and distributing, and then the money left
Mm-hmm.
over can go to funding future projects. So
Mm-hmm.
Kickstarter has really helped with like getting the numbers before so I know how much to order and I have the money to order. It really helps me out as a creator because like if I didn't have it and I just had to get all these books printed and stuff and then sell them, like that could actually be a lot on your pockets as as a normal
Mm-hmm.
human individual 9 to 5 worker. it can it can really hurt your pockets. So
Yep.
Kickstarter helps like that. Kickstarter also has like its own scene there. It has its people there, has its own audience of people that look for
Mm-hmm.
books and stuff like that. So it's helped me tap into an audience and also help me keep track of my audience. It helps me Kickstarter also
Mm-hmm.
lets people that have returning backers, how many returning backers you get. It
Yep.
also with your updates, you're allowed to ask people, "Hey, can I use your email to add to my email list?" And people like, "Yeah," people like, "No," but so it helps you keep track of your audience. It also helps like help like print the book and stuff like that and fund future
Yep.
projects. It can be like you say, it can be like you said, like it's like the blood of indie comics. Like it definitely is because it's somewhere that
It is. Yeah.
we need it kind of like in a way you don't need. There's other ways to sell. You can go straight to direct market. Like I'm not want to say that you need it because you don't need it, but it definitely helps, and it's a place where people already are looking for comics and stuff like that. And so as more and
Mm-hmm.
as more people get familiar with the site, it's actually becoming a place for people to actually get comics and stuff. So I mean, big name publishers are really starting to use Kickstarter now. So that should tell you something.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been seeing Image and Dark Horse show up on Kickstarter.
Hmm.
It's not before long. Marvel and DC is going to be on Kickstarter, and at that point, I'm probably
I
going to
think
get
they
off
may
of
be
it.
the only ones that don't need Kickstarter. I think they're the only ones that's not gonna go no Kickstarter. I think they good where they at. You feel me? I think they
I hope they never go to it
yeah
because
yeah
I think at that point that's when Kickstarter is going to die.
yeah yeah. Forget them. We don't need them. They stay with us. Let's keep on this thing, bro. Everybody already go to y'all. You feel me? So y'all just stay in the comic
Right.
shops. You know,
That's what
let
I'm
us
saying.
chill on Kickstarter.
But I love how you broke down how you approach Kickstarter because it's the same way that I try to approach it
Mhm.
myself. My mentor, David Green, he told me from the beginning before you go to Kickstarter, at least have your book 80% done. Because if
Right.
it's at least 80% done, you run the Kickstarter campaign for about 30 days. By that time, your book should be, if it's not 90 to 95% done, it should be at completion.
Hmm.
Which then at that point, you just use the rest of the funds that you get from Kickstarter to print and distribute because these printing fees are expensive.
Yes, they
I
are.
don't. Do you? Who do you use to print?
I use Comic Wellspring, and I love them. Shout outs to Comic Wellspring, man. I just got some books
Huge
from
shout
them,
out.
and they look great.
Yeah, huge shout out to the Comcis Wellspring. They work with Kickstarter. You can sign up for their campaign offer before you launch your campaign. And I just found out because this is the first time I've ever done this. They also promote it on their podcast, so that helps. And they'll give you a discount on printing your books with them once you do that. So I'm just like, well, that's awesome. So that's just a huge benefit of being able to go through Commerce Wellspring. But I mean, they're a great printer, but they aren't cheap. Like I think their prices kind of went up a little bit to almost $3 a book, depending on how many pages you print with them.
No, they
But
actually have a. They actually so they actually have a. They did something. I got all the emails. So they did something. So it's actually not
okay,
as much now. So they have like a They have a tier that's like a standard comic tier that you can get. That's actually not too
Oh
expensive.
yeah,
Yeah,
the comic creator thing. Yeah, I did see
yeah,
that.
you can go to that. So the only thing with that is the new paper that I've used that I love doesn't fall under that, so I don't get that. So,
Mm.
but I'm fine with it. I love this new paper though.
It's probably the paper that I like, so I mean, it's okay.
Right.
I mean, but it's worth it though. Like you pay for what you get,
Hmm.
and they are the best printer that I've used. I've The only other printer I've ever used was Kablam, and Kablam is pretty decent, but their quality isn't as good as Commerce Wellspring in my opinion.
Yeah, I never used Kablam. I've only ever used Comic Wellspring, but I heard good and bad things about Kablam. But also there's what is it called? Mixum.
Oh, Mixium,
Mixium.
or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
I
I've heard
haven't
people
heard
use them.
yeah, I haven't heard anything bad about them actually. So, but I've been
Me
using
either.
Comic Wellspring and they haven't given me any problems. So I'm not gonna if it ain't broke,
Same.
don't fix it. So I'm gonna just stick with it.
Right. Yeah, same. And I've met Brandon and some of the other people from Commerce Wellspring when I went to Baltimore back in 2024. So they're never going to lose me as a customer. I can say that much.
They're in Baltimore.
They went to Baltimore Comic Con.
Oh,
I
okay,
think they
okay,
go every year for the Ringo.
okay. Back. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So since we just had a nice little 5 minute discussion about Kickstarter and praising it for what it does and how great it is for the indie comic creator community, that brings us to you.
Hmm.
You currently have a Kickstarter running for your newest comic called Thema, the God of War. So I'm giving you the rest of this episode just to promote your comic. So tell the people about Thema, tell them about the Kickstarter, and why they should support it. Other than the fact that it's going to be dope regardless.
So real quick, I'm sorry for this, but I'm down to run an Audible. I can give a quick plug about Thema. If you want to keep talking about indie comics and have this conversation, I think that's a much better conversation to have than me promoting my Kickstarter. So if I can give a quick plug about the Kickstarter, I can just say, people go support it. Theme of the Queen of War is out now on Kickstarter. It's about my character who's like a fish out of water story where my character must basically try to find her footing in an unfamiliar world while dealing with monsters that come from another world. So if it's out on Kickstarter now, it's available now. I'm pretty sure Gary will put it in the link in the bio
It will
or
be.
description. But Gary, if you have any more questions, like I definitely can talk more about my Kickstarter. I can do that easily. But if you have any more questions about indie comics and you want to talk about that more, I'm definitely down to more so have that conversation than me just talk about my Kickstarter, which I already do all the time. So
No, I feel like we've really hit so many points on the indie comic creator scene that it feels right just to give you time to talk about your story, about your Kickstarter, promote yourself, and all of that.
oh, I can do that too. I'm down for that. So
Yeah.
you have questions or you just want me to go?
Oh, talk. Tell us what you can about the story, and then tell us about the Kickstarter. Like essentially, what your goal is, and how people can, or what like some of the rewards people can get from it.
Okay, cool. All right, bet. So, like I said, my project theme of the Queen of War. So, I told you a quick little bit about the project, but I can give you kind of how it starts off. So, theme of how the story starts off, like especially the first 8 pages, give you kind of like the origin. So, theme of the Queen of War. Basically, there's this never-ending war. It's like this crazy war that's going on, and this great king he looks to the gods basically for help to end this war, and they give him a daughter, and they bless his daughter with incredible gifts. Right, and here goes the Kickstarter right now that he's showing. They bless her with incredible gifts, such as enhanced strength, speed, a little bit of a healing factor, and of course, golden wings. So they give her all these abilities for her to kind of lead the king's men in this army in hopes to end it. Um, and the king always not dreamed of her not just as a warrior, but he dreamed of her as one day leading the people, just leading the people as a queen. So That's why he named her Thema, which means queen. So, but one day during a fight, one day during a battle, she gets sent to another world, and she gets sent to this world full of monsters, right? And then she spends ages on that world, ages, long time, just on that world alone, fighting these monsters until one day, a portal opens up, much like the one that sent her to this world, and then she comes back to our world. But she doesn't come alone. Monsters come with her, and like I said, she's trying to find her footing in back in this world because, of course, she's unfamiliar with it. She hasn't been here for ages, so she's real unfamiliar with our world. She's trying to find her footing and just trying to find her place while these monsters are attacking. So this story, a lot of things inspired this story, including my love of just women warriors. Of course, like
Hmm.
Xenon, the Warrior Princess, Wonder Woman.
Hmm.
It was inspired by that and me wanting to create my own, like Warrior Woman. Also, my love of just like monsters and magic and fantasy. So, I typically, most of my
Hmm.
comics have to do with like superheroes and stuff like that, and like vigilante. So, I've definitely just wanted to, testing the other things that I like besides that. So that's one thing that came up with this story. And also this story was also inspired by, I did a deep dive into like African mythology. So it is definitely inspired by my love of African mythology and some of the monsters and creatures that are in African mythology. And I'm like so mad I never actually knew about these until like I had to research them. But they
Right.
some of those monsters I had to use in this story. So some of the ones that those are ones that she fights. Some of those are from African mythology. And one thing I really did in this book, I wanted to kind of put the names of the creatures in it. I didn't want to overdo it to where people were like, "Why does this person keep writing this name in this book?" But I wanted to make it so you knew the names of these creatures, so that you like look it up and you kind of research what these creatures are because they have incredible stories. And like, of course, I can't tell the full story of these creatures, but they have incredible story. I think people need to check out. But yeah, this it's out on Kickstarter now. You asked about some of the rewards. I have three covers that you're actually showing right now. Cover A and B. The collector's edition cover is one thing that I like to do with the collector's edition covers is with my number ones, I make these covers that have exclusive artwork on the inside. Only people that have seen the artwork are me and the artist and the people that buy this book. So it's something I really want to do
Hmm.
with me being like I'm a cover collector. I love variant covers. And then so one thing I hate about collective variant covers is that there's nothing different on the inside. So this is kind of my thing to do that, like change it so like okay, this is a variant cover, but it's the collector's edition cover, so I'm giving you never before seen artwork. Only people that have this book will see that artwork. So that's some of the rewards you get. We have posters with it. Also, my two series, The King's Domain and Avoid Lee, are also available on this Kickstarter. Also, really dope that I just got some books in that I think I'm also going to add to this Kickstarter as add-ons to kind of further promote this campaign and kind of reach my stretch goals. But yeah, this is out on Kickstarter right now. I've fully reached my goal. I still have, I think, a little over 2 weeks to go to keep pushing. But this is a beautiful story. The artwork, man, I think this might be my best looking book. I like, as you can see there, the colors.
I agree.
Yeah, it just and it came out how I wanted to. I wanted all these characters to look strong and beautiful. I wanted like their skin tone to pop. I just wanted that joint
Hmm.
to hit. Like you feel me? I
Yeah,
wanted it to hit, and it did. Like I
your
love
colors did his job on this one.
her job. Her job. My color is her. She did a great job. Bia,
Mm,
she is one of my favorite colorists to work with. It's yeah, she
okay.
does a great job. She actually did the legacy for me, and I brought her onto this series, and she did a great job, man. Oh man, her
She's
colors.
good.
She killed it, bro. Like I can't wait to hold this book in my hands. Like I wish I could back the campaign myself, but you can't back the campaign. Like, yeah. But yeah, this is out on Kickstarter right now. If this interests you, please go check it out. Please go back it today. It's a beautiful story. Um, yeah, and I love it. So a lot of my stories are really made to be long stories like my combo universe. I have years and years and years planned for that, like just to go down, just to keep going. But for this story, I don't have too much planned. I only have 6 issues planned, just one solid story. um,
Mm.
I left a place for it to continue afterwards, if I do want to continue it. But I definitely, for right now, it's just supposed to be 6 issues, and then it's done. And then I actually, at first, to go into a little fun fact, I wrote this as like a graphic novel. It wasn't supposed to be so
Okay.
many issues, but I but to make a full graphic novel is tough. Like to get the money in between and kind of use the money to kind of promote the next one. It
Mm-hmm.
it's more financially efficient. So I went with that, but it definitely the first the plan was just to release it as one big graphic novel. I wanted to give everybody the story just all in once, but just the pockets had different plans.
The pockets. It's always the pockets.
They're always talking.
Well, Malcolm, appreciate you for coming on here, and I'm glad you were able to talk about your project, and just kind of have a short discussion about just the indie comic scene in general. Because I feel like we we don't really uplift often enough like we should. And I wanted to give us that opportunity to just do that. And then, like I said, I wanted to give you the opportunity to just promote yourself a little bit, and hopefully we can get you some more backers,
Yes,
because you are
yes,
10 away from 90, 20 away from 100. And that's the goal. So,
yes. Yeah, and
uh,
yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me on the platform. I'm definitely always down to come on and talk to you too. Like about comics or anything in what we see in like anything. You feel me? And of course, I told you I wanted to have you back on my podcast too again. To do some talk about some
mhm.
things. So, and definitely, I like you said. I think we do. I think we're getting a lot better at uplifting each other. I think,
Yeah.
but I think it's just way figured out the ways to do it and stuff like that. And these ways are like easy little ways for us to uplift each other. Like both of us took
Hmm.
what 40 minutes out of our day to come in here and talk. You let me
Yep.
talk about my comic book and promote. You came on my show, so I think these are easy ways for us to help promote each other. I think just for the continued conversation, we got to figure out the bigger ways to help promote
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah,
Uh, Again, I appreciate you coming on here. This was great. It's always fun talking to you.
you too, bro.
Uh,
I love these conversations.
yeah, man. I have a lot of ideas on topics to talk about on my podcast. So whenever I have an idea that I want you to come on, I will definitely reach out.
Hey, and likewise, same with you.
Bad, bad. Well, appreciate you again for coming on. Again, everyone, this has been the Divergent Comics Podcast. I am Gary. Use this weekend, check out the Zelda Awards, and then right after that, go read some comics.